3 men hung dying outside the city walls of Jerusalem, but the crowd gathered around the center cross was entirely focused on a single demand. Passers-by, religious leaders, and even the criminals dying next to him hurled the exact same taunt. "If you are the Son of God, prove it by coming down." The crowd believed they were watching a helpless man. They were wrong. The man bleeding on the wood had the immediate physical capacity to step off the cross at the exact moment they demanded it. Hours earlier, Jesus made a very specific claim about the resources at his disposal. He stated he could ask his Father to send 12 legions of angels. A legion is a Roman military term for a unit of roughly 6,000 soldiers. 12 legions means an army of over 72,000 angels. According to ancient Hebrew records, one angel eliminated 185,000 soldiers in one night. Multiply that by 72,000, and you get a force capable of wiping out billions. This power was waiting for a single word to erase the Roman Empire. He never gave the order. He hung there and listened to the mockery, keeping an army that could shatter the earth perfectly still. If a man possesses the limitless power to obliterate his executioners and free himself in a microsecond, what could possibly compel him to stay on an instrument of torture? To answer that, we have to rewind a few hours to a grove of olive trees exactly like these. Jesus waited for his arrest to arrive on his own terms. He fully understood the physical trauma ahead of him. The bodily damage actually began here in the garden. He experienced such severe psychological stress that he developed hematidrosis, a rare but documented medical condition where extreme anguish causes human sweat glands to rupture and exude blood. He prayed and asked if there was any other way, and when the answer was no, he submitted. He stepped into the role of a willing volunteer. In fact, he actively orchestrated the parameters of his own execution. He chose the highly public timeline of the Passover festival, and he deliberately traveled to Jerusalem, knowing exactly what the authorities planned to do with him. Which brings us back to the cross, and the exact phrasing of the religious leaders' insult. He saved others, but he cannot save himself. The crowd's insult highlights the central mechanic of the crucifixion. To clear a moral debt humanity couldn't pay, a sinless substitute had to take the punishment in its place. This is substitutionary atonement, a trade where one life pays for every other. The mockers demanding a miracle were actually offering him a brutal zero-sum trade. If he called the angels and stepped down to save his own life, he would permanently abandon his rescue mission, leaving humanity to pay its own debt. The crowd thought they were exposing a fraud, but they accidentally proclaimed the deepest logic of the Christian faith. He literally could not save himself, because doing so meant he could not save us. Through all the violence, the noise, and the demands for proof, Jesus remained strikingly quiet. He offered no defense, he didn't argue with the crowd, and he refused to threaten his executioners with divine retribution. That silence was the ultimate expression of absolute power under complete, disciplined control. When he finally did speak his last words, he didn't whisper a surrender. He stated, "It is finished." The original Greek word recorded here is tetelestai. It's an ancient commercial accounting term that translates directly to paid in full. It was a shout of total mission completion. At that exact moment, having settled the debt, he chose to stop breathing and yielded his spirit. A few miles away, inside the epicenter of Jewish religious life at the Temple Mount, the physical world reacted immediately to his death. Look at this diagram of the temple's interior. Deep inside was a massive curtain separating humanity from the Holy of Holies, the place where God's presence dwelt. It was 60 feet high and 30 feet wide. At the moment Jesus died, this enormous barrier violently tore in two. The tear started at the very top and ripped straight down to the floor. The execution functioned as a deliberate, successful rescue mission. Possessing the absolute power to save himself, he actively chose to save humanity instead.